really trouble. It's like every time I bring out raw meat, you just go crazy. I don't know. People might think you were a predator or something. Seriously. uh, and with that, I think I better move this down up a little bit because there we go. It's time. Oh, sorry about starting a little early here. That's largely because a certain predator was crawling up my leg. Hi there. Welcome, everybody, to Cast Iron Wednesday, which is, of course, a tradition that a whole bunch of YouTube channels have been doing, YouTube cooking channels, that is. Every Wednesday, a lot of channels here on YouTube do a cast iron video. Not many of them do a live video because they're usually smarter than I am, but nonetheless, here we are because, again, we've actually been doing this now live for about 2.5 years, and somehow I've managed to survive it. Yeah. But well, there's always tonight. You can see whether or not I managed to survive another one of these live videos. More seriously, as I said, a lot of YouTube channels have in fact been doing this for a long time here, in which you get to see a video on Wednesday about cooking in cast iron, cleaning in cast iron, just about anything at all related to cast iron cookware. And why do we do this? Well, number one, it's a lot of fun, or at least that's in my case. I mean, I'm sure the YouTube views don't hurt either, but as I've said before, I really enjoy doing this largely because of the people who are kind enough to show up here on Cast Iron Wednesday. And thank you very much, as always, to everybody who has shown up. Um, we've got all of our regulars here. Well, some of our regulars anyway. And the fact that I have regulars really is something I'm very much grateful for. So, hello to Val's Black Cats Rule and Dan Reddy and Rick Stumbow and Randy Castile. Hello, Christopher Rice and Gene Grube and R.T. Scott, Craig Werner or Werner. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. And yeah, thank you so much. Hello, Jolene Cole. Oh, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to hear you have COVID. Well, please do be careful and get well soon. That's about the best I can say. But thank you very much for dropping by and saying hi. Um. Anyway, as I'd said in the title here, it looks like we are doing chicken tonight again. That's largely because I got the urge to do another roast chicken, and I haven't done much in the way of spatchcock chicken the way a lot of folks have. Is this thing stained? No, I don't think so. Okay, in that I am rather proud of my Dutch oven chicken recipes. There are two of them that I use quite often. One, of course, is the one that people seem to really enjoy. That's the 500-degree Dutch oven chicken, which is about the easiest way there is really to roast a chicken, I find. The other way I like, which is also a very low effort recipe, is Dutch oven chicken and rice, which basically braises the chicken, in which you stick the chicken into a whole lot of liquid with rice and bake it that way for 90 minutes. Either way, you come up with a really good chicken. Of course, a lot of folks are very fond of doing what they call spatchcock, and yeah, that's actually I've enjoyed doing that a few times. I've done as well, and I guess that's why I decided to call this "What the heck is spatchcock?" Because yeah, there's something about this name that yeah does make a lot of people chuckle. There's no denying that. I mean, heck, I was so tempted as well to put kind of a raunchy pun in the title of this video, but I decided against it because I thought it might be that YouTube may get a little picky about it. So, and hello as well. Gonna make your pulled pork Boston baked beans this weekend. Oh, Destroyer Ben. Well, really? Well, I can only hope that you enjoy it. So, in my case, though, I have a chicken to prepare, and yeah, I guess we can give this a shot here as we're doing this. Okay, so yeah, here we go. I don't know if it's because, well, there really isn't as much of a food shortage now it seems like, in the stores as there was a couple of years ago. But nonetheless, when I looked for a chicken, the smallest one I could find was this 6.5 pound roaster. So, gosh, that just means we're going to have to make this tonight. And we're going to be making it in a good old Birmingham Stove and Range number 10 size, 12-inch cast iron skillet. And I can only hope that that's big enough for this thing, especially when it's cut in half. And as I was preparing this tonight, I found out the hard way that even a few months after I've moved into my new place, I find that there are still things that I am missing and I'm kind of peeved about. For starters, as I was looking around, I could not find my kitchen shears. I'm mad at myself for that. They must have been left behind or otherwise lost in the move. So I found myself without kitchen shears, and I had to use some regular tool shears. Which, yes, I did wash these off before applying them here, and I have not used these things on anything that could permanently get into this and get into the chicken. No oil or anything like that. So this should be safe enough. But anyway, spatchcocking a chicken is really easy. And yeah, in that, all we have to do is simply cut off the backbone of the chicken, and then we just spread it apart, and that's pretty much it. So let me dry this off a little bit, and we get to and you get to see me butcher some meat, and I will probably butcher my attempt at spatchcocking this chicken. Let me see if I can move this a little closer here for you folks, because I'm sure you just want to see a chick. I'm sure, like a horror movie, you would love to see a close up of this blade going into raw meat here. So there we go. This looks like it might not be a bad view. Pretty simple anyway. All we do is, well, we find the backbone of the chicken and start cutting away. Here is where we need either a good knife or some good shears, because yes, it is likely that I'm probably going to have to cut through a bone or two. But these shears are doing a pretty good job here. So this really is not very difficult at all. Just a little bit here. And snip, snip, and away we go. Snip. Come on, a little bit more. And here comes my vulture down here. So let's see if I can get this. Okay, there's one side. And remember, folks, this is just everyday meat. I mean, if you are squeamish, you might want to turn away, but nonetheless, that's simply the truth. In that, food preparation is icky. That's really what it all comes down to. So let's go with the other side here. Oh, and by the way, oh yeah, he seems to be camera shy. Every time I try turning the camera on him, he conveniently moves away. How nice of him. Um, Even though he is right over here, you can see who I'm talking about. Let's just finish this up, shall we? Stop talking and start cutting. Snip, ugh, snip. Ugh. Yeah, the sound is something you won't forget either. And again, you could indeed make all kinds of, oh, what happened to the light? Okay, you could make all kinds of rude comments, but if you do, just please be nice. That's all I ask. I mean, yes, we are in fact all grown-ups here. There's no denying that. Um, but I don't know. I've never been a fan of some of the more lowbrow, I guess you could call them, humor that is, there is a time and a place for it, yes, but I like to think my channel may not be that. But there we go. Okay, that was the worst of it, and here is the backbone of the chicken. Which, oh rat, I've got to get myself a plastic bag. I forgot that. Give me a second to pull one out. Here we are. All right. Or as they said in a certain famous movie, excuse me while I whip this out. And let's stick it in here where it's nice and safe. Okay. All right. Okay, let's do this. And I've got to adjust my lighting as well. I don't know what happened. Excuse me 1 second. Let me turn this around. There we go. That's a little better. And I better throw this in the fridge as quickly as I can. All right. So anyway, that is probably the worst part. Let me rinse these things off again very quickly. It doesn't take much. I know what they say about chicken. My opinion is that this whole thing about chicken being a salmonella bomb is overrated. No, I did not say it does not exist. I'm just saying that I feel that it's overrated. In that this is not going to permanently contaminate my kitchen. I am not going to need to fumigate the whole place just because I cut up a raw chicken. There we go. And that takes care of those shears. I still do my best to be sanitary nonetheless. Okay. But of course, I'm about to be touching this chicken once again. So that's because we're not done yet. That was step number 1. Ugh. Now we go into step number 2, which is where we pull the chicken apart and crush it. So that means, if I remember right, there we go. That's what I wanted to do. Now that we've done that, the other thing is we have to actually push it down. Oh, great. And carefully. Okay. That actually wasn't so hard because there we go. Here is our spatchcock chicken. And why do we do this? The main reason why is it is going to cook much faster. This is going to expose a lot more surface space to the heat of the oven. And that, of course, will help, as I just said, cook this thing a whole lot faster. So that's why I'm looking forward to getting this thing in the oven as quickly as I can. Let me pull out another paper towel or two. And then we get to apply the rub. Okay, one other thing I've learned is that I should rub the bottom first so that after I've rubbed the top, I won't have to turn it over again. There we go. And yeah, again, doesn't look lovely. Well, like I said, the simple fact is food preparation is icky, and that's just life. Meaning that if anybody from PETA wants to use this video as evidence of how awful I am, please go ahead and do so. I will gladly laugh at it. Okay. All right. That means now that we've done that, let's start with putting just a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. We don't need too much. There we go. That's no real effort at all. And then we have our rub. I prepared a simple rub of some sage, rosemary, thyme, salt, pepper, and of course smoked paprika. I did not use garlic in this because we are going to be adding a ton of garlic to the pan. I'm going to be like using the 40 cloves of garlic method for roasting this chicken because I like that method. That is really, really tasty stuff. So we put a little bit on the bottom and then a little bit more on the top. Yeah, here we go. Throw on some more olive oil. Rachel Ray calls it Evu. Um, Gordon Ramsay pronounces it olive oil for some reason. I guess it must be a British thing. Olive oil. Okay, and there we go. And then we come to our rub. And this always reminds me of the immortal words of Hamlet. There's the rub. Okay. All we have to do now is rub the rub all over our chicken. Think there's enough of it? Okay, well, fortunately, that's certainly plenty here. Because now that we've done that, and as you can see, this sure is difficult to prepare too. I mean, boy, this is really taking a massive effort to prepare this roast chicken. It's, which again is another thing. I am a fan of really easy recipes. I've done a few recipes that took about 15 or 16 different steps. In fact, the next time I try one of Julia Child's recipes, I'm not sure if it's going to be a chicken or maybe I might even go for her French onion soup. But yeah, I like my recipes simple. What can I say? So now that we've done that, um, okay, means I think it's about time to move on to the cast iron. That means we get to move our view again to, like I said, this is a Century Series 12-inch BSR skillet, a real kitchen workhorse. And as I've said enough times that if any of you folks don't have a big cast iron pan, I very much recommend getting one. I was debating whether I should pull out old Stumpy for this, the 14-incher. But I'm hoping that this 12-inch will be big enough. Either way, I had probably better turn on the stovetop fan, vent fan. Get out my trusty tongs. Here they are. Here are the tongs. And, oh yeah, okay, good. Away we go. Oh, good, it's going to fit. There won't be any problem at all. I was a little worried about that, but this thing fits nice and snug, and not too snug. So I'd say we're doing pretty good here. I'm not going to be fully cooking this chicken on the stove top, of course. After I've given it a sear on the top and bottom, I'm just going to throw in a whole bunch of garlic cloves and some liquid, and then put the chicken back in, and into the oven it goes. And it's as simple as that. Like I said, I like simple recipes. And hello as well, Debbie. Hi, Granny. I found one for like $5, like new with swirls. You mean a BSR pan? Let me check these comments here while this is going. By the way, smoke alarm batteries. Yeah, I lost my big cast pan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Joseph Ortiz. Well, I know things happen, but there is always a possibility that you could end up scoring another one. I mean, granted, the big ones, yeah, prices of everything have gone up. I remember when the big 12-inch large skillet used to sell for, I think, only about $16 at Walmart about 10 years ago. Now it's probably gone up to over $20. But even so, $20 for a 12-inch, did I say 15-inch? I meant a 12-inch skillet, 12-inch large skillet. It's still not too bad. And again, all I really want to do is just give a bit of a sear here to the skin of this chicken because, of course, here comes the science. This is where we get our flavor. Well, we add to our flavor. The flavor is going to come in the roasting, nonetheless. More condolences, Jericho. Papa, I'll be rolling through your neck of the woods come Monday. Oh, that's going to be Arkansas. If I remember right. That ostrich. Boy, what did I miss here? Somebody's having an ostrich. I actually saw an ostrich for sale at a meat market a few years ago in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And it was selling for, I kid you not, $75 a pound. If I were to go on Facebook, I could probably even find a photo I took of it. All right, there we go. While we're doing that, also going to rinse off this sheet pan that I used very quickly. Then I will be putting it back on the same sheet pan because, like I said, it is going to go into the oven after this. So it's not really a case of cross-contamination. That's what the baking is for. All right, do this quickly. And that's probably about all I need at this point because I don't want to burn the skin. So let's see if we can't get this thing out carefully. Very carefully. There we go. There we go. That's not looking too badly for a starter. There we go. And now that we've done that, here's the next thing. I can actually turn off this heat because it's certainly hot enough. And here is the part where I should probably throw in just a bit more olive oil. And the reason why I'm doing that is because a whole bunch of garlic cloves coming in. I went looking for peeled garlic, because I didn't want to peel all those garlic cloves myself, and found that my local price chopper said they no longer sell their own cans of or containers of peeled garlic. Oh joy! Which means I had to go with this stuff. Come on, why can't I even open this thing up? Hold on one second. There we go. You've probably seen this stuff for sale at your local supermarket, but this one is going to be a whole pound of garlic. And all I want to do is just lightly brown the garlic. You know, you do not want to burn it. Burning it would be bad. Here. So, there we go. On the other hand, brown garlic is wonderful. And in fact, when making a garlic chicken, there's really no such thing as too many cloves of garlic. They say, the recipe says 40 cloves of garlic. That's not enough, actually. You could do 60, 80, or however many cloves there are in this 1 pound bag, because the garlic is going to roast in the oven. It is going to become as soft as paste or butter, and man, is it ever going to be delicious. I'm really only going to, I don't know, maybe about another minute or so. That's probably all I need. Let me make sure this thing doesn't cool off, although I doubt it's going to. I'm actually going to turn this heat back on for the moment. But it's only going to be a few seconds anyway. Italian, that's just a tease. Yes, exactly. As far as garlic goes, for Italians, this is just a tease. Really, it's like, do you want some chicken with your garlic? Might explain his lack of dates on this show. Oh no, I mean, anybody who has had roasted garlic, you know very well that there is no such thing as too much of it. And yeah, I guess I could say it's true as well that it also helps to drive away the vampire, so that certainly helps. Which reminds me, you know what it is about vampires. You know how all of the legends and fiction and movies and everything about vampires, they all talk about European vampires. You never hear about vampires from Africa, for instance. It's like as though all the vampires, were driven out of Africa. And in fact, that's the truth. You know why? Because you know how, of course, vampires are driven away by holy water. Well, consider they bless the rains down in Africa. If you get that one, consider yourself lucky. Okay, that's probably enough, in fact, because I'm starting to smell it. So let me turn this heat off one more time. And, nuts. Did always forget one more thing. Let me dig as quickly as I can, because somewhere in here it is. wine press or wine bottle opener. Forgot that. Like I said, I always forget something. My bad. This is just cheap wine. Oh yeah, because I love using cheap wine with my cooking. I don't know. I guess it matches matches the rest of me. Cheap, that is. There we go. Where'd that spatula go? There we are. Let's give this a stir just to be safe. I could just a bit higher view so you can see what's going on here. There we go. Come on. Ah, good grief. Okay, well, we're not done yet, are we? Well, let's dig this in a little bit more. Also shows you I'm not an expert at opening wine bottles. And there, finally. Okay, means now we'll turn our view back to the casting. Not cheap, reasonably priced. Yes, that's true. There we go. And that should stop it from burning as well. So, stop rushing around. There we go. Got our wine and our garlic. And to this, we also throw in some cream. Make it a cream sauce. There we go. Yeah, what was it, about a week ago? Boy, I'm not losing track of the dates where I'm making these videos. I did a very little commentary about so-called cooking wines. The reason why you find them in the cooking section of the supermarket and not in the alcohol section. As somebody pointed out in the comments, in fact, it's because they put so much salt and other additives in that they can sell it without a liquor license. Yeah, that's because those cooking wines are terrible. Besides, that bottle of cheap wine I have there costs probably $8, and it's about the size of at least 2 of those bottles of cooking wine, which means it's about the same price. So why bother paying for cooking wine when you can get some actual wine at the same for, again, just about the same price? But there we go. And with that, I have the oven heated. Yes, it's salted and not very good tasting. Yes, exactly. Oh, yeah. As I said, there's no such thing as too much garlic. Oh, shrooms and onions. I never think of these things. I mean, you folks are much smarter than I am. I never think of these things. I should indeed have prepared some mushrooms and onions. Well, nonetheless, there we go. Oh yeah, Christmas present. Heavy duty oven gloves. Yay. Here's hoping they last a while. The oven is preheated to 400. Oh, wait. One more thing. Always one more thing. And that would be, here it is, probe thermometer. After all, we have to know when this thing is going to be done. So let's insert this thing carefully. With this meter thermometer, as they call it, there we go. You have to insert it at least halfway through. There we go, because the bottom half of the probe is not covered. Yeah, there we go. That was a lot easier than I thought. Now, finally, we get to do this. Careful, there's a lot of liquid here. Who am I telling you to be careful? Me, of course. Especially since this is a BSR, so it does not have a helper handle. The number 12 BSR did, and of course a modern day Lodge does. Oh, come on. Is this thing getting stuck underneath? There we go. Okay, good. We got it. Well, I can turn this off. Vent fan is off. All right. Now that we've done that, one last thing, I'll be able to relax for a few minutes. That is, once again, we bring out the meter, which was a Christmas present more than a year ago. I am not being paid for this. Um, no cook setup. Well, then let's set up cook. Tap to set up cook. And we have beef, poultry, chicken, whole breast thigh. Doesn't say anything about spatchcock, so we'll have to go with whole. And there we go, 165 degrees. Start cook. Bam. Estimating cook time. It does take a few minutes for it to estimate the cook time. So we will see. My hope is, though, especially since this is going to be spatchcock, it should indeed be done in less than an hour. At least that's my hope. Right, there we go. Let me throw this cream back in the fridge. Let me see, is there anything else perishable around here? Well, there's the wine for one. So let's get over to my workspace here. It means I get to pull out this cork, stuff it back into the wine bottle, and then I will, and you may notice, is this in the view? Okay, it's not in the view. I better move this over here. You may notice that there's something here on this table here. Gee, that looks like it might be a cast iron pan. Well, yeah, I've had an idea of trying something else tonight, something nice and simple. All right, stick this wine, ugh, there it is, back in the fridge. And let me answer a few comments first. That's the thing is that as I'm rushing around here, I realize I'm not able to read your comments. So I have to catch up on that. Okay. Lifetime supply of cat food and give the kitties a splash of cream. Yes, exactly. Maybe the wine will help from burning. Okay, no. Well, that's true. I'm really not a drinker. I bought the rosemary chicken from Sam's for $4.98. Seam size chicken at the grocery store was $14. Oh yeah. Well, get the cheapest one you can because there's no reason not to. Pour myself a glass of wine. Well, I don't know about that. I still have some of that rum fruitcake. Agreed about white adding cream to a bake. Bourbon chicken is good. I bought a rotisserie chicken. I'm going to make chicken and dumplings this week. Nice. If hubby doesn't eat it all up before I can get it. Yeah, that is the thing about rotisserie chicken, definitely. Corey Clark, I don't know if you ever saw the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi, where he said, "I don't drink wine. Bourbon is best." I always worried about adding cream so early. It's interesting to see how it turns out. Okay, and honey in the house, and only cook with a wine you like to drink. Cajun advice. Yeah, that also was quoted by Julia Child as well. So you can buy a really good chicken cooked from Sam's for $4.98. Well, that's certainly true, but consider these days. It seems. Correct me if I'm wrong, but these days it seems as though the chickens that they usually sell, their rotisserie chickens, pretty much anywhere, Stop and Shop. I've never been to a Costco's. I've never had a chance, but most of those chickens are barely more than Cornish hens. If I'm wrong about that, please correct me. I mean, what we just put in the oven, for instance, was a 6 pound chicken, a little more than 6 pounds, in fact. So it's a 6 pound roaster chicken. So we should definitely be getting our money's worth, especially this chicken was on sale for 99 cents a pound. So for $6 plus the cost of the spices and the garlic, we have ourselves a nice chicken in the oven, which, by the way, it is still estimating cook time. Although, let me see. Meanwhile, this thing is still climbing. The oven was preset to 400, so I think it's only the probe thermometer is still tracking it. But Tech Nanner, I think it's mostly there for counties where grocery stores can't sell alcohol. Oh, yes, that would be probably the cooking wine, no doubt about that. Okay, let's get back down to the newest comments. All right, chickens at Sam are big, same size as our grocery store was $14. Oh, I can't say I've ever been to Sam's Club either. That's because I've never wanted to pay for the Walmart version of BJ's. All right, and clock. Okay. Pawpaw Dan, I'm back. My smoked brisket burger and twice fried fries were calling me. Oh, hello, Pawpaw Dan. I'm hoping that means your eyes are doing better. You remember we had all that, we heard about that trouble with your eyes, but it sounds like you may very well be doing better. So I'm glad to hear that. In which case, then, if you can see that, then I'm hoping you can see this. Um, this is a large camp oven, in fact. It is a number 8 size camp oven. And the funny thing about the camp ovens is that the number 8 is actually the approximate diameter of the pot. I mean, since it was not based to sit on a stove, Dutch oven size numbers are not the same as skillet size numbers. In that this number 8 large Dutch oven just about fits a number 5 size or 8-inch cast iron skillet. And the reason why I have this here was because I was thinking I don't think I'm done with the garlic yet. I was thinking of making some roasted garlic. And here's where I was looking around, and something I'm mad about is that I seem to have either misplaced or lost my large number 5 size cast iron lid. And that upset me greatly because I had purchased that lid, in fact, at the Lodge factory store. So if that means I'm going to have to get another one if and when I make another trip down there, still, I was very surprised to find I did not have a lid to fit a number 5 size cast iron skillet, which meant I had to break out this Dutch oven here. I haven't mentioned this particular camp oven. This actually I still remember. I managed to win this as a door prize at the National Dutch Oven Gathering in, oh, good grief, 2011. Wow. So this thing's almost 12 years old. But yes, I have actually given it some use. I mean, granted, I don't do a lot of outdoor cooking, but right now I was hoping to do some oven cooking with this nonetheless. And what I had wanted to do was, Walmart version of BJ's. What I had wanted to do was simply make some roasted garlic, because that's another thing. I love roasted garlic. Everybody loves roasted garlic. That's one reason why I've got all that garlic in the oven. However, when they say you can make your own roasted garlic, they always say to wrap it in aluminum foil, and there's nothing wrong with that. But why do that when you have yourself a cast iron pot? In this case, you could also do this again with a cast iron skillet. Okay, so let's get started with that as quickly as I can. All right, all I need to do here is, oh, forgot one other thing. Dig out my basting brush. Where is that these days? Which I know I have because I've used it a number of times. Hold on, let me get this out here. Organization. What's that? Why am I having trouble finding this? Oh, what's wrong with me? Okay, calm down. What do we have here? We've got julienne, pizza cutter, vegetable peeler. Why am I having trouble finding my basting brush? Because it's over here in the dish drying rack, and I was dumb enough not to put it away. That's why. Huh. Okay. Anyway, basting brush. All right, olive oil. Once again, we don't really need a lot of it. That's probably more than enough, in fact. And Do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. There we go. We've coated the inside of this thing with olive oil. And here is where we start getting out garlic cloves, which fortunately, that's one thing I remember to get out in advance. There we go. Here's one of those elephant garlic cloves and another packet of tiny garlic cloves. Now, let me whoa, dig out my trusty chef knife. And here's where we get to do a little bit of slicing. Let me put these things away right now. All right. Meter, throw this out. You know what they say about keeping your workspace clean? As she said in Ratatouille, keep your workspace clean or I will kill you. And I do my best to try to keep those words to heart. So let's start with elephant garlic. Besides, this is not going to take very long because we don't even have to peel this, although it looks like it's already broken up. Okay, then that means we will just have to do it this way. All I need to do, and I don't, as I said, I don't even need to peel the garlic. All I need to do is just carefully, there we go, that's how we do it. Slice. Slice. I was not expecting this big giant garlic clove to come apart. By the way, if you've never seen elephant garlic, I mean, check this out. Yeah, this thing is really impressive. And my understanding is, I have had elephant garlic before. My understanding is that elephant garlic is apparently a little bit less intense than tiny garlic. So if you're worried about this being overwhelming, that is not going to be the case. So a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And then from here, all we need to do now, as I said, I was expecting it to simply be a whole clove, but all we do now is place it into the Dutch oven. There we go. And there's nothing to it. Notice I'm doing this. I sliced it in half so that the insides would be exposed. But there's a lot more room here. So now what I should do is throw away some of these extra garlic skins or peels. Because like I said, trying to keep my workspace clean here. I've never worked in a restaurant, and it's a good thing too, because I doubt I would last a couple more than 2 days at one of those places. Kudos to anyone who has actually worked in a busy restaurant for a long period of time. As much as I've made fun of Joshua Wiseman, I will grant him that, in that he had his cooking experience or training working at a restaurant. So I will certainly give him kudos for that. And we go from one extreme to the other. We go from that huge, gigantic clove of garlic to these tiny cloves of garlic. So we've got one and the other, and here and here. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Throw out this extra piece. And while we're at it, looks like I can probably cut up a couple more of these. Well, this was not an expensive, what do they call this thing? They call these things a sleeve of garlic, if I remember right. There we go. Be careful. Okay. Here's one more. And one more, and hopefully that'll be enough. Come on, do this right. There we go. Bam, that's what we wanted. As you can see, I'm just trying to cut this in half. We're not going to take the time to peel all these garlic cloves because we don't have to. But That should be enough. There we go. Now for the topping, and that's about it, which means we just drizzle on a little bit more olive oil, and it doesn't even have to be a lot. A little bit of salt. Again, doesn't have to be a lot. A little bit of pepper. And the lid. And that's it. We do not have to, wrap these garlic cloves in foil. So now there should be enough room in the oven to fit this thing. Careful. Okay, there should be enough room in the oven to fit this big pot next to that pan of roasting goodness. Of course, I have to be careful not to burn myself here. When have I ever done that before, huh? There we go, got it. Oh, and there we go. So now, not only are we going to have a ton of garlic from the pan, flavored with the chicken and everything, but we're also going to have some roasted garlic. So yeah, I'll be able to have some nice, fresh, or the world's greatest garlic bread. Okay, how are we doing right now? Um, has this thing ever? I can't believe this thing is still estimating the cook time, so that's kind of annoying. However, nonetheless, it's showing the chicken temperature 63 degrees. I was kind of hoping it would have gone a little faster. Um, well, we'll see. Oh, well, now it's at 64. So there's always the chance that it may very well work. I've got this at 400. I could always turn it up to 425 if need be, which would also help to brown the skin too. Okay. Nonetheless, he may be doing some sort of exorcism with all that garlic. Well, I'm not sure about that. What I do know, though, is that it makes really great garlic bread. But yeah, I guess you could think of as well of that classic movie, The Lost Boys. There's one thing I can't stand about San Dimas: all the damn vampires. Well, there aren't going to be any vampires around here, that's for sure. Although I know that there are some other some other vampire fiction. I'm not sure if it's Anne Rice that actually claims that some of these vampire weaknesses are in fact fake. Apparently, it's even propaganda spread by vampires themselves to fool their victims and make it that much easier for them to trap them. Because if they brandish garlic, and this happens to be a universe where it's done. And this happens to be a universe where in fact, no, garlic does not affect vampires. Well, then score one for the vampires. Okay, this is telling us right now, an hour 42 minutes. All right, well, I was kind of hoping for faster than that, but we will see what happens. Hoping to have this done before this live video ended. Nonetheless, well, as I said, it may change when the temperature changes. Okay, because now it says an hour and 40, so who knows? All right. And so there we go. Neches River catfish and sauteing some asparagus in my vintage Worko skillet while watching. Nice. If I remember right, Worko actually was initials that stand for Wrought Iron Company, I think. I got a Griswold #8 and a Wagner toy griddle in the oven seasoning up. Well, that's one way to keep warm this winter, that's for sure. Corey Clark, vampires are in Pennsylvania and Massachusetts. Well, considering I just moved from Massachusetts, I'm not able to verify that yet. Vampires are in Washington, D.C., Celine 77 star 99. Yeah, that part is all too true, unfortunately. They're definitely blood-sucking vampires in Washington. More fun with the girls than fun. Okay. um, Wagner Ware fat-free fryer and a BSR #3, mid-century, I think, and a couple of lids. Okay, K Cloud. So I have the stumps of my leeks from last week in water, trying to root them. Gardening adventure. Well, best of luck to that. I mean, hey, if it works for onions and scallions, I'm sure it will probably work for those leeks. Turner Fowler, I just got done seasoning my skillet. We had hamburgers for dinner. Congratulations. What did you all have? Um, and so spatchcock chicken and what else on the menu today? Well, spatchcock chicken and roasted garlic for starters. This is going to be done so late that I'm actually not going to have a full blown supper tonight. Really, once this is done, like a lot of these things that I do on my live videos here, other than sampling it, of course, because you have to do that on the live. Usually, I end up just really putting this in the refrigerator so that I can have it for the next few days. Because yeah, that's a lot of chicken, but um although if nothing else, it also helps keep me practicing because I'm hoping, in fact, I think I'm going to invite some friends over this weekend, if possible, to see if they can help me change the faucet on my sink. My kitchen sink, unfortunately, started dripping on New Year's Eve. In fact, I literally woke up on Saturday morning, New Year's Eve, and saw that the faucet was dripping. And I've been looking at it as best as I could. And I am no expert plumber, so I decided, I was thinking of upgrading this faucet anyway because the faucet looks kind of flimsy as it is. So I took the time, got myself a replacement kitchen faucet from Home Depot. Then, fool that I am, I went onto Angie's list and got a plumber to come out to change it. Well, this plumber charged $120 just to walk in the door. He then gave me an estimate of $550 to do the work. 30 minutes of work. I already paid for the replacement faucet. So I denied it. I said, no thanks. That is out of my budget. Lost $120 because that fee was simply for him to walk in the door. But after that, I now still have a dripping faucet, but I do have a replacement. So I do actually have a friend who lives up in the not too far north of me. They said that they are that since her husband is a contractor, they may very well be able to help change my faucet because my understanding is it's actually really not that hard. Okay, autocorrect. I hate it. Deep fish fryer is BSR. Oh, somebody has a deep fish fryer, huh? Where are you located? I'm in New York City. I'm actually more out towards Binghamton. So that's oh no, that's you. Sorry, you were talking to Debbie. My apologies. The spider was a gift from my husband. Let me check these comments here. Let me see. We're talking about deep fish fryers and spiders, no less. Honey Badger got a lid rack today. Nice. That means you have cast ironitis. Yes, it certainly does. You can always call out for Chinese. Faucets are an easy repair. Yeah, that's why I was not going to pay $550 to have that guy just simply replace my faucet. No, that was definitely out of my league. Okay. My thought is, as I said, I will have my friend and probably, no, and definitely his wife and son up here for, I don't know, we could spend the afternoon that way. We can change the faucet, we can play a movie, and of course, I will cook dinner. Anyway, Papa Dan, I stumbled on a BSR deep fish fryer and a best made egg and bacon skillet. Nice, but Corey got a better deal than me. No lid with my fryer. Well, even if you don't have a lid, you've got yourself a nice deep fryer there. It also, as you know, makes a great stovetop skillet too. So definitely use it even if you don't have a lid for it. And best made, as I hope you know, is actually Griswold. And there have been times when even me, yeah, this is a true story from a few, not too many years ago either. I'm thinking maybe about 3 years ago at a flea market in Massachusetts, and I know I posted about this on Facebook. I was at a flea market, and there was this guy selling a bunch of cast iron pans at his stand, and there were some, some Asian made, some other, and there were several Wagners, and there was one stack of three number three size skillets. And he said to me, a buck each or a dollar each, because there ain't no Wagners in it. So I looked through that pile of number three skillets that ain't no Wagners, and I pulled out, without saying anything, a good health skillet, which, as folks may know, good health was in fact Griswold. So I got myself a number three Griswold for a buck. I also pulled two BSRs out of that $1 pile. So it really helps to have just a little bit of knowledge. I'm not saying you have to be a geek like I am, but having only that much more knowledge is certainly enough to really help improve the hunt. You can find yourself getting a nice big score here if you have only just a little bit of knowledge. And if nothing else, the internet should certainly be able to help. And well, maybe even my channel might help you a little bit in that direction. So I should really pull something out just for folks to look at while we are talking and waiting here. So let's pull out, since we were talking already about Workco and the like, let's pull this out. There we go. That's something. This was yet another Brimfield find. Oh, by the way, this is down now to an hour and 6 minutes. Funny, wasn't it saying like an hour and 40 minutes only a few minutes ago? Evidently, this thing is still recalculating. So we'll see what it's like in maybe about another 20, 30 minutes. Anyway, yeah, this in fact was at Brimfield, and I've done three Brimfield videos. I believe this was the second, yeah, the one in which I said return to Brimfield after the pandemic. I'm pretty sure that was the one. That was where I came across one of the nicest Brimfield cast iron vendors I had ever encountered. They were selling a table and a huge pile of cast iron of all kinds at very reasonable prices instead of the sky high prices that most of the vendors were selling them for. And this is where they had all of all kinds of good pans. We're talking like Lodge, DSR, and the like. And they were selling them reasonably inexpensive, and largely because they were such nice people, I splurged and got this gate marked Turk head pan for $30. So it was kind of a splurge, but I'm certainly not complaining about that. Your gas bill get taken care of? Yeah, finally. I ended up yelling at them last week about my $3,000 gas bill, and they finally recalculated it and reduced it to $575. I've got to call them again and yell at them again and say, what the hell is going on? So it's been reduced, but it's still not good enough. Good grief. I know, it never seems to end, does it? Anyway, okay. Do you have anything in the lye tank right now? Do you keep the lye tank indoors? The lye tank is in the garage, partly because I'm stoked to have a garage, and I have several pieces in the lye tank right now. Yes, and I actually put them in there like around October or so, with the intention of just letting them sit there throughout the winter, so that finally comes spring, when the weather starts to get a little warmer, I will then empty them, pull them out of the lye tank and season them. So, um, you folks are finding some nice deals. We're kind of limited, but there is a good surplus store, and we keep digging. Yeah, that's the trick there, Wyoming Yeti. What everybody needs, including myself, is patience. Patience more than anything else. It took me. As I said already, been at this hobby for. It's going to be. It is 11 years. 2010, Christmas 2010 through Christmas 2012, through 22, 12 years. I've been at this hobby for 12 years, and it took 12 years of hunting to build up this cast iron collection. So it does take patience. I mean, anybody can go really weeks or months without finding a good score. And then, of course, those good scores always happen, and I mean always, when you never expect it. So, yeah, all you can do is just be on the lookout for it. You're getting bent over by your gas company. Yeah, tell me about it. That's why I have to call them again. So and see if I can't get this damn thing all straightened out. Hmm. Debbie, I'm tired of hurting. I've been kind of hard headed about going to doctors. Okay. Bit of luck helps too. Got to be in the right place at the right time. Oh, definitely. No question about that. Don't you remember you telling me that it was overpriced and full of iron at Frogs? Well, it was almost empty Saturday. That's a lot of iron. Patience is key. If you lose patience and pay too much, it takes the fun out of it. Well, there is that. I know I mentioned my life lesson when Pawpaw Dan, if that deep fish fryer and lid for $50 is still at the store, that's a good buy. Yes, exactly. So that's the type of thing you might be able to find. So Western New York is actually not a bad place to be as far as antiquing goes. It does still require going out on the hunt, but there are places where you can actually stumble across some decent cast iron, and you never know where it's going to be. Western New York, just outside of Seneca Nation, for instance, and you probably know about this one, the Salamanca um, Antique Mall. Well, I have actually found that place to be disappointing as far as cast iron is concerned. It's huge. Yes, it is. It's very big. And over the past 12 years or so, I've browsed there a few times. And I don't think I have found a single worthy piece of cast iron at that place. The last time I was there was last year. Yeah, no. Good grief. 2021. Wow, time flies. That was when I made my last road trip to New York, to Western New York. And at that time, at the Salamanca Antique Mall, I did find a Griswold Dutch oven with no lid for $60. So, no. That's what, on the other hand, in the area of Buffalo, I did come across a very good flea market. And I thought this flea market was intriguing because it was a flea market that took place at a storage bin company. You know, those places where you rent out your storage bins. And this one actually did a flea market every weekend. So quite a few of the vendors, they just simply rent out a storage bin, fill it, decorate the storage bin as a flea market stand so that, they can put all their wares and everything in there. And when the flea market opens up on Sunday, they just simply unlock it, open up the door, and they're ready for business. And at that place, there was one guy selling some pretty decent cast iron. If I remember right, at that place, I scored, I believe I got a John Wright pan, and I think I got a Lodge pan there as well. So, yeah, you never know when you're going to end up scoring. True Pawpaw, but that's where I got my WAG and my BSR from Wayne's saved. Wayne's World, huh? Oh, there's actually a place called Wayne's World. I guess that's really not too surprising. I'm from Illinois. First time live chatting. Well, congratulations and welcome, Randy Castillo. Always glad to see you here. Do you think you'll ever get more organized? I seriously doubt it because it's not like I'm trying to have this big mess here. I do my best to try to stay organized. I mean, if nothing else, at least I do my best to try to clean up my mess and wash my dishes regularly. After all, I live by myself and there's nobody else here to do the dishes but me. So I make sure to wash the dishes regularly immediately after I'm done eating, and because if I'm not careful, they could end up stacking up. And again, I have nobody to clean them but myself. Pawpaw, don't you remember? Yeah, overpriced and full of frogs. That's what we said. Pawpaw, there's a place a guy sent me to, and I hate it. All clothes and stuff. Very ill household, no kitchen. Oh, my condolences. How's the weather there? Hope you're doing okay. The weather has actually been nice. Although in that all of that again, we are several hours away from Buffalo, so we did not get the major storm that hit Buffalo. In fact, all of our snow has been melted now for going on at least 2 weeks or so. On the other hand, this Friday is going to be like the fourth Friday in a row where we're going to have rain and snow, which may turn into ice because yet again, the weather is then going to drop and become, or the temperature is going to drop and become very chilly. Not 0 degrees this time, but it's going to get into the lower teens on Saturday. So, but hey, it is January and it is still in New York. So that's how it goes. By the way, this thing has now dropped down to 40 minutes. So yeah, this thing is definitely recalculating as the time goes by here. So there's still a chance that maybe they might even drop even more. I'm really hoping to have this thing done before the live ends. Thank goodness I have chickens. The hunt for cast iron is three-fourths of the phone. um, Okay. At Walmart 6 months ago, I could buy a box of 5 dozen for 4.78. Oh, good grief! Oh, eggs we're talking about. Phew. Oh, again, my condolences there for Jim 44. So, eggs, bread, and milk will blow your mind. Yeah. We're supposed to get another 4 inches over the weekend, says Val's Black Cats. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are more towards the Buffalo area or Rochester or something like that, if I remember right. You don't have to say exactly where. I mean, everybody, please be sure to keep your privacy, especially on the internet. You don't have to say too much about yourself. But, uh, well, keep your snow shovel handy. I guess that's the best I can say. Is that recalculating because it's spatchcock? That's certainly possible. Because as I said at the beginning, that's one of the big reasons why spatchcocking is so popular. It exposes more surface space to the heat of the oven, and that means just that. You do get it done faster. So I'm also thinking maybe of turning the temperature on the oven up to about 425 because I would really like to get this thing done in time for you folks to see it. So let me turn this oven up right now. Bake, move it up to 425, and we will see what happens then. Besides, that'll also help brown the skin or crisp the skin too. Of course, we're down to 35 minutes now. And it says 98 degrees, and we will just keep going from there. Okay. Oh, by the way, here you are, folks. Okay, let's get back here. Looks like after Rick D. Okay. Okay, eggs dozen, 4.76. Ouch. I'm sorry to hear that. Eggs in our stores are over $5 or $6. Wow. I spatchcocked this year's tea-day turkey cooked in an hour and 15 minutes. Nice. And you're definitely doing something right, more than I seem to be getting in this oven. So maybe it's because I have this pan, it's not on the bottom rack. Perhaps that might have something to do with it. Let's get a shot of this stuff in the oven right now, shall we? Let's see what it looks like. Move this wire here this way. Here comes another roller coaster ride. Nonetheless, this is what we have so far. So far, it's actually looking pretty good. And I'm not sure if you can see, I wonder if I can raise this a little bit so that you can see the bubbling liquid as well. So, which, by the way, no, it has not burned either. Over here on this side is that cast iron pot where I have the garlic roasting. So anyway, as I said, that is a BSR Century number 10 skillet. Okay, let's get back to where we were. Continue from there. Okay, good. The temperature has just gone to it has gone to 425, at least according to the oven. It has. Anyway, as I mentioned, folks, by the way, I did this spatchcock chicken because I wanted to do a spatchcock chicken tonight. I mean, I've done spatchcocking before, and it is a lot of fun, and it does actually help give you a nice, fast roasted chicken. But I am actually very fond, as I mentioned, of making my Dutch oven chicken. And when you said that about a duck earlier, that reminded me. Somebody posted a nice comment on my video for the 500-degree Dutch oven chicken, and he said, I have done that Dutch oven. I've done made your chicken in the Dutch oven several times, and I've also made duck in this manner. And that definitely caught my attention because it occurs to me, what would it be like to try roasting a duck in that 500-degree Dutch oven? I wonder how it would turn out. Hmm. You know, there is a possibility for something in the very near future, I think. Looks like I may just actually have to start looking for a duck soon to see how that turns out. Hmm. Hi, Billy Lee, says Turner Fowler. I can't have chickens. I miss them terribly. Love my chickens. Ouch. Sorry about that. Anyway, folks, then here's another question as well. How do you like your chicken? What do you do usually if you want chicken? I mean, I've made chicken a number of different ways. I like doing roasted chickens because they're easy. I like doing chicken thighs. I grew up eating baked chicken thighs. That was something that my mom usually made on the average of at least once a week or maybe once every couple of weeks, probably more. We ate a lot of chicken as we were growing up, and I personally never got tired of it. But it was because of mom that I really learned to appreciate and love white meat. I'm sorry, dark meat. My apologies, dark meat. Probably even more than white meat, and that's my own preference. Corey, I go to KFC. Dano Ozark, sticky chicken here. Papa Dan, I had four turkeys walk up to my back door on Monday. Just took my IMS and was drinking coffee when they walked up. I like chicken cut up off the bone in Chinese recipes. Deep fried, dip in beaten egg and roll in seasoned cornstarch. I'm a dark meat man. Husband's allergic to fish, fowl, and mushrooms. Ouch, my condolences. Chicken thighs are my favorites, as they say, as says Christine Borgatti. Definitely someone after my heart here. Roasted, boiled, fried, crock potted. Any way you fix it, I'm a clucker when it comes to chicken. Oh, yeah, no, Debbie, you definitely, as I said, I know where that's coming from. I've had chicken many ways, and I've loved it just about any way I can think of. I've had chicken on the bone. I've had chicken off the bone. I've had boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I've got a friend, as I've mentioned before, who calls himself the deep fried king, and he has a vendetta against boneless, skinless chicken breasts. He did this rant about it, and he points out, besides the fact he says they're tasteless and expensive, and besides, when you got your guys all getting together to throw something on the grill, I mean, how often, guys, do you call up your buddies and say, "Hey, yeah, let's all come over, hang out, and drink beer. I've got some boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm gonna throw on the grill." Nobody ever says that, and for good reason. So, yeah, yeah, I mean, boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I guess it's because they're so easy to make. That must be why they're so popular and why you see them in so many recipes. I have preferred dark meat on the bone. I used to have, unfortunately, well, let's just say I lived with a person for a while who it seems like um, about the only way she knew how to make chicken was just making plain boiled bland white chicken breasts. So, in fact, she didn't even know about poaching chicken. Oh, let me say that as well. One of the time when I learned how to poach chicken, in that I actually made poached chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, and I poached them. And they were wonderful. They were so soft and tender. I shouldn't say they were like butter, but oh man, were they ever good? And they were definitely more tasty than expected as well. If you don't know what poaching is, for the record, and no, I'm not saying that to insult anyone. I mean, there's a first time for everything. I learned how to cook, and it took me. And so at first, I didn't know what poaching was. Poaching is simply where you heat up your pot, whether it's water or chicken broth or the like, and keep it under the boiling temperature. Keep it, say, under 200 degrees, for instance, hot enough so that it does cook the chicken, but not hot enough to boil it. And you keep it at that temperature as you slowly, well, again, you don't boil it because it's not boiling, but you simply cook the chicken in your hot water in that way. It does take longer, but not too much longer. And what you end up with is just that poached chicken, which is usually very, very tender. And I was impressed when I learned that. That would be okay. The Mudbrooker, huh? Oh, Mudbrooker. Oh, hello, Mudbrooker. Nice to see you here. Poaching here is shooting a deer out of season. Chicken prices about like ours. I also like to saute chicken livers and cast iron. Oh yeah, poached chicken. Yeah, chicken livers, gizzards. That's yet another one of those things. I remember on the cast iron cooking group, whenever anybody brings up things like cooking gizzards and liver, that's when people usually start giving their puke and throwing up emojis because how dare people actually cook things like chicken livers, for instance. I've had chicken livers and I find they're very good when mixed in with other foods. By themselves, they're a taste that's worth you do need to get used to it. Yes. On the other hand, like say for instance, there are some recipes such as dirty rice, Cajun dirty rice, that call for those chickens to be yeah, that call for chicken pieces like chicken livers, for instance. And well, this has improved. We're down now to 23 minutes. So we are definitely making some progress here, considering that the chicken, actually, I shouldn't complain. That chicken only went into the oven 45 minutes ago. It's 9:15, and I put that chicken in the oven at just about, was it 8:30? I Or was it 8:15? Now I forget, but I think it was closer to 8:30. I actually got that in the oven. So that chicken's only been in there for 45 minutes. So I really can't complain that it is now down to 22 minutes. So definitely it is getting there. It was 8:30. Yes, exactly. So even though I was griping about the temperature, it's actually doing pretty good. And I just have to realize that. So my bad. At times around here, it's like a saying, nothing better than new potatoes and fresh venison on the 4th of July. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the 4th of July. That's for sure. This winter has not been that hard in my particular neighborhood. So I really can't complain much about that. Granted, we are still only in January. The worst may very well be yet to come. I've got my winter clock that starts at the beginning of November and ends at the end of March. And based on that winter clock, this weekend, Martin Luther King weekend, halfway through January, winter is half over. But of course, we have to get into the other half. Oh, I can definitely smell that garlic by now. Um, Meanwhile, the garlic, by the way, I really should have timed that as well when that pot with the roasted garlic went into the oven because it should be about 50 minutes to roast that garlic. Um, I'm thinking that means that roasted garlic should be done by about 9:30, or in other words, in about another 10 to 15 minutes or so. First tried chicken. I told you it's burning. Oh, you're saying because I can smell it? No, I will disagree with you on that. In fact, let me take another look here. No, nothing is burning, actually. It does look pretty good, though. I will say that. I do not see any burning at all on that cream and on that liquid there at the bottom. How can we sleep while our beds are burning? Meanwhile, as I said, I'm pretty sure that I don't believe that garlic, uh, though I think maybe just to be safe, mm, I'm debating whether I should pull that garlic out and just the pod and just take a look at that. I mean, granted, it has only been maybe about 30 to 40 minutes. So I think I'll wait at least a few minutes yet before checking on it. Garlic has been in 35 minutes. And yeah, let me see. The garlic, if I remember right, was supposed to roast at 400 also. So yeah, I don't think I'm doing too badly. Even though I can smell the garlic and it smells good, I do not believe that garlic is burning. All I can do is take that chance. So I even like liver and onions with brown gravy. Oh man. Liver and onions, that's another thing that drives people crazy on the cast iron cooking group. That's one thing that they have to do there on that group. They really have to enforce the rules about, you don't, the term is don't yuck the yum. Namely, you do not make fun of other people's cooking because you're not the one who eats them. On that group, which has 400,000 members, pretty much people, there's somebody there who will be offended by anything. We've had complaints about people who cook, venison. A lot of complaints when liver and onions come up, or when people cook with tilapia, or even if people cook with purple sweet potatoes. We've had, boy, did that ever start out an argument at that time. So we also have to make sure to enforce the rules that there is no arguing about what is healthy and what is unhealthy as far as cast iron cooking is concerned. Boy, does that ever open up another can of worms. Cynthia Wesley, Val, this lady fixed me some gizzards, the best in years. She crock pot them overnight and then battered and fried them. Nice. That sounds pretty good. Shadow Walker XM, I grew up with fried chicken livers, feasts, gizzards, breaded really nice. All of this is definitely making me hungry, that's for sure. And I'm definitely looking forward to that chicken. Pickled turkey gizzards. Well, that's different. In Wisconsin, huh? Oh, that's Mudbrooker talking. Well, yeah, I can definitely say I've never had pickled turkey gizzards. I have had roasted and cooked turkey gizzards, even fried turkey gizzards, and they're not bad. I find that the heart is not bad. The liver, I still have some trouble swallowing. It's definitely an acquired taste. Hey, Cynthia, thank you. That's what I need because I've always fried them, so cook slow. Hello, Captain Kirk. Wow, Whamming Yeti. When we moved here, a neighbor brought over a huge casserole of venison and hot pepper kind of taco casserole. Really, really good. All of this is really just a reminder to simply keep your eyes open and your mind open, and you never know what you may end up liking. I've said this before, and I will keep saying it. In that I like going out of my way to try new things, new foods, and I've been doing that now for about the past 12 years. Again, my life changed at around the time I learned how to cook. And in many instances, I've discovered something new that turned out to be wonderful. So I will not hesitate at trying new things, whether it's pickled turkey pickled turkey gizzards, for instance. If it's served to me and in a manner where it's supposed to be eaten, that is, yes, I will give it a try. We are now down to 17 minutes. So it is still indeed changing, recalculating even as we go. 16 minutes to go. So I may very well be able to get this thing out of the oven just before this live video ends. So we're not doing too badly. My brother loved all of what you said, Mudbrooker. I've never had a taste for pickled hocks or pig's feet. And do you like Rocky Mountain oysters? I've made Rocky Mountain oysters. If you look on my channel way back down there, you will find my Rocky Mountain oyster video. And in that one, I actually took those Rocky Mountain oysters, and yes, I know what they are. And rather than doing the usual frying them, I ended up preparing them in the same manner as coq au vin. Namely, I cooked them in a wine sauce with mushrooms, and I loved it. It did, in fact, taste like liver. This was Rocky Mountain oysters. In my case, it tasted like liver, and I did not have any trouble finishing that entire dish. So that actually turned out pretty good. I do not recall if I've ever had your typical fried Rocky Mountain oysters. Maybe I might have to try that the next time I actually have the chance to make those. Hmm. Pass the beans and greens here. Buffalo liver is delicious. Yeah, like I said, liver is something of an acquired taste to me, but I can say that because I have eaten it and I have tried it. So don't knock it until you've tried it. I guess that's a pretty good rule to follow. Whether it comes to, say, liver or fruitcake at Christmas, for instance. Yeah. I mean, really, it's like I'd say people really don't have the right to diss or say negative things about different or unknown kinds of foods until they try themselves. And I'll say this as well, and I've said this before. I have said that I would indeed try rat meat if it was properly prepared for cooking. I mean, properly prepared and cooked. I would indeed give it a try because it is eaten in some areas of the world, like in Asia, for instance. And I'm not saying that to diss Asia either, any more than than the way that they cook dog meat and I believe horse meat as well in Korea, for instance. That, of course, gets into yet another different discussion. I've brought up the subject, for instance, of nutria, the Louisiana swamp rat, and how that is actually meant to be served and cooked. Clico, I remember your Rocky Mountain oysters and head cheese, legendary, and both tasted good. Oh yeah, the head cheese. I ended up loving that head cheese the way it was made, but I think maybe it was the way it was made. In that, it really the spices. Oh man, that did that ever give a good time for it? My friend in New Mexico has been experimenting with dried crickets. I've done that. Wyoming Yeti. You can look again on my YouTube channel, and I've got a video called Grasshopper Gravy, and that is where I did indeed cook grasshoppers. And the video I like because it turned out to be one of the funniest videos I've managed to produce on my channel, if I may say so. So give that a try. Look it up, Grasshopper Gravy. You don't have to actually try eating it yourself, but see what you think. Also, I'm told that grasshoppers are kind of like a local delicacy in Oregon, in that Seattle Mariners fans, apparently there's some kind of a running thing where they regularly eat crickets and oysters, not oysters, and grasshoppers. And I don't know the reason for it because I'm not a Mariners fan. Juan C. Gonzalez Vallejo. I tried horse meat in France. We eat a lot of bugs down here in Mexico, but rat meat is totally out of my scope. Tree rats are usually good too. Oh, yeah, squirrel. There you go. Yes, exactly. Or likewise, my neighbor hunts and eats the jackrabbits around here. Pawpaw Dan. My family ate possum during the Depression, but they put them in cages and fed them to clean them out. Hmm. And yeah, they do still. In some instances, they do still cook possum. Yes, I've seen live possum several times. Have not had the opportunity to eat one. Um, I would not go out of my way for it. But if the opportunity comes up, well, I'm not going to go back on my word. If the opportunity comes up, yes, I would try it. Although I will never forget the time a possum actually got into our house, into our home, in fact. This was back when maybe around my high school days, because mom told me that a possum got into the kitchen. And what can she say? What can you say? Picture yourself, being a typical uh, mother, like around the age of maybe 40 or so, or maybe less. You are just barely waking up in the middle of the morning, in the early morning, not middle, waking up in the early morning, going downstairs into the kitchen to start things going. And then you see this giant, ugly, furry beast just waddling across the floor. And possums actually, when they hiss at you, they look pretty ugly. So she saw that and she screamed. And yeah, it hissed at her, and she climbed up on top of the coffee table and just screamed until finally, I think it was either dad or one of my brothers, finally shooed it out of there with a broom, if I remember right. So yeah, that was something I won't forget. Even though I wasn't there, she told me that story, and I won't forget that one. I meant to try beefalo, but never did. Raccoon is good, beaver too, but they have to be butchered right. There's glands under the legs that need to be removed, among other details. And with that, well, now we are still down to 10 minutes, which really isn't bad. I'm still hoping I can get this thing done. So maybe it might even be a little sooner than that. Although this thing is going to have to rest. Let's take one more look at this chicken while we're at it. And I should probably actually consider, I think, taking that roasted garlic out of the oven by now. But nonetheless, here's the chicken now. Let me try to get a bit of higher view. I don't think that's looking too bad. And I'm not seeing any sign of burning, although it's hard to tell through the oven door, to be fair. And once again, that chicken is roasting in a BSR Century number 10 skillet. So that's a nice 6 pound roaster chicken, which I prepared in a 12-inch cast iron skillet. So it looks like in just another 8 minutes, it will be coming out of the oven. I bet there was some regret until someone figured out how to take the glands out of the raccoon. Ouch. Oh, I'm hoping oh, so you mean they didn't take out the musk glands? Oh boy, then that must have been a little adventure right there. That's about all I'll say about that. Raccoon is good, but has lots of small bones. Modern or vintage iron, says Turner. Oh, tree. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Tree rat is good. I like it cooked in cast iron. I've had Billy Lee Lawan, I think. I've had an apparently charmed life. Never eaten any of the animals mentioned. Well, um, I am not telling anybody. I'm not forcing anybody to try any of these. All I will say is that if the opportunity presents itself, don't pass it up. Even if you hesitate and you like you stall and like give me a few minutes to brace myself before I actually try that thing. All we ask is that you give it a try. If you don't like it, then you don't like it. I mean, you're not going to die from it. No, and no, I can safely say you won't die from it. I mean, there are very few allergic reactions of that kind. So I mean, the worst that could happen is that you might end up again just not liking it, but we never know. I mean, for instance, I tried wild boar and I loved it. Oh man, was that ever good? Wild boar, I find, is like an intense kind of pork, and I don't mean fatty. I mean it's like you take the pork flavor and you multiply it by, I don't know, 5 or 10 times. Wild boar is just that good. On the other hand, I've tried elk meat and I wasn't that impressed. I think I found it to be gamey. Of course, the first time I ever had roasted duck was at a restaurant, and they didn't cook it properly, as I found out later, because it also had a gamey taste. And then I made my own roasted duck, and it turned out to be delicious. So who knows? What other kinds of meat? Oh yeah. One Christmas several years ago, I made a roast goose. You know, in the old English tradition, I actually wanted to do a goose. And that was interesting because the goose was all dark meat. Even the breast was dark meat. It was all muscle. Maybe because goose is a wild game bird, perhaps, I guess. But it was interesting in that respect. And it did have a unique flavor too. It did not taste like chicken, I'll say that much. Sportsmen's clubs all around the country put on wild game feeds all the time. Find one in your area, and you could try all kinds of different critters. Original paella from Spain has rabbit and snails. It was my first exotic meal ever. And Mark C, I tried moose. How did you like it? Gil moose and squero. Um, no, seriously, Mark C, how did you like moose? I won't eat bug or crustaceans, the bugs of the sea. You know, even though I'm a born and bred New Englander, I never really had much of a taste for seafood. I mean, I've eaten crab and liked it. I've eaten lobster and liked it. Yet, for whatever reason, I have not flipped head over heels over it. Even lobster. I like it and I won't pass it up, but again, I won't go out of my way for it. I don't know. As I said, it's just my palate. It's just the way I am. So I can't speak for anyone else. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do. Okay, let me pull this aside and let me see. What can I? Let me hang this back up here. And what can I use for a trivet? Well, how about a trivet? Such as this. This should be big enough. Oops, sorry, let's get a better view for you folks here. Let's try to pull this down a little bit. Come on, why am I having so much trouble here? There we go. That's a little better. Now we get to pull out our gloves. And I'm hoping I didn't burn this. Not the chicken, although the chicken definitely looks done, in fact. I better, in fact, even though it still says 4 more minutes, I think I'm going to turn off the oven heat. But this is what I was talking about. Hope I didn't burn this. This would be roasted garlic. There we go, roasted garlic. So let me put this down someplace safe. I think I'll put it on top of the stove and see what it's like, which means I get to pull out a fork. Careful. Oh, yeah, there we go. There we go. Hiss, hiss. Oh, yeah, we definitely have ourselves some roasted garlic here. Definitely. All I have to do now is let it cool off a little bit, and I can squeeze it into a container. So we're off to a pretty good start here. So again, that was roasted garlic in a cast iron pot. Let me do this again so that you can see what I saw, namely a little bit here. As you can see, soft enough you can press it. So we definitely have ourselves some roasted garlic. All I have to do now is let it cool off. And finally, the last part is about ready to come out. We're at 157 at this point. I'm going to take this out of the oven, I think. Let me move this aside. I'm going to put this on the stove top for now. Because now at last is what I've been waiting for. Why does this thing keep... I'm trying to get a good view here. Just my camera just does not seem to be agreeing with me. Let me pull this over to one side. There we go, at last. Sorry that took so long there. Just trying to get a good view here. And with that, here we go. Nice and be careful here. And here is the results. Haha. Haha. At last. Thank you for waiting this long, folks, because here is our cast iron garlic roasted chicken. And even though it looks like maybe the spices might have definitely darkened or blackened, no, I would not say that this is burned. And there's our timing for you. Check this out. Remove from heat. Like it says, the temperature, according to this, is 159. Let me show that again. Temperature is 159, so we are doing pretty good here. Best of all, yeah, let's take a look, by the way, at that garlic. That garlic there is nice and brown. Do this way. Oh yeah, garlic is brown, and I am not seeing any burn spots. I do believe, oh man, if you like garlic, I like garlic, but I mean, check this out. Check out this garlic here. Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to scoop this garlic out. That's for sure. In fact, I might even just try a piece right now. Hot. Mm. Oh yeah. Like I said, the amazing thing about roasted garlic is that it does not become intense, incredibly strong garlic. It mellows. It's smooth. It's much more smooth, almost buttery. Oh man! And frankly, if I'm not careful, I could just simply take a spoon or this fork and just start scooping that garlic right out of the pan and into my mouth. Oh man. Oh yeah. So okay, I am rather happy about this. Now from here, let me. Of course, I have to do at least one money shot as well. So excuse me for a second while I take a couple of pictures with with my camera here, my phone that is. Click and click and click. There we go. So we'll have a new thumbnail photo for this video tonight. But nonetheless, here is our garlic roasted chicken. This is definitely going to last a few days. As I said, if I'm not careful, I'm not sure how long the garlic's going to last. Tomorrow, maybe. Definitely going to be enjoying some garlic bread with this, though. Mm. But there we go. So again, that was spatchcocking a chicken, and that was the whole point. I mean, spatchcock is that wonderful name, nice and suggestive. If people don't know what spatchcock is, they might think that you were swearing or saying something naughty. On the other hand, this chicken, yeah, this chicken definitely looks kind of naughty too. So, but I am definitely looking forward to enjoying this. And oh, it's definitely done too. I could pull this apart. Ooh, that's hot. But I could pull this apart with very little effort. And it has all the juices and everything. So I have nothing to worry about this chicken drying out. That's for sure. In fact, I can even see the juices coming out from under the skin right here. So this is going to be something. And that means I can only appreciate as well you folks for hanging around while we talked chicken and talked about cooking. But nonetheless, there we are. And thank you, Eric T. And Debbie. I guess I made spatchcock pork because I used about the same amount of garlic in my pork roast. Well, you don't need to use garlic in a spatchcock. Spatchcocking is simply where you cut the chicken in, where you open the chicken up, remove the backbone. In my case, I put a ton of garlic in here because I wanted to put a ton of garlic in here. And I am not regretting it one bit. With that amount of garlic, you'll smell like a Korean the next morning, ready to apply in other recipes. Oh yeah, I am so looking forward to that. And what else do we have here? Well, when I eat a lot of garlic, I notice my bathroom towel will smell like it. I guess it comes out of my pores. I know people have Booth 100. Okay. All that garlic, you're going to pass the gas tomorrow. Well, there is that, but fortunately, I live by myself. And that's probably all I need to say there. All that garlic is a recipe for some serious Dutch ovens. So, nonetheless, though, as I said, I can only hope I've kept you folks reasonably entertained tonight. And I'd say, at least, if nothing else, the results are worth it. I mean, I'm not demanding that you try this recipe yourself. On the other hand, I like the results, especially this garlic. So I would encourage you to try this recipe yourself and see how you like it. But it is definitely worth it. I can tell that already. And well, I'm going to be enjoying some chicken. And thanks also to this great old BSNR Century Series cast iron skillet here, which did a great amount of the work for me. And having said that, I do believe we are ready to pull in because this is a work night and this has been a late evening. So, yeah, thank you. It's a lot of fun. Nice to catch up. Well, thank you, Shadow Walker XM and William Hurt as well. So, and Clico, John Surf 5, Val's Black Cat's Rules, and LT's cat. My glands are crippled, so I can't cut out the backbone. Um, okay. Oh, I think I know what you mean by that. Hmm. And well, I don't know if it's a knockout, but I'm certainly not complaining. I mean, this is why when I said earlier this week I was considering like doing some kind of an Iron Chef thing on my live. Yeah, I'd like to do some kind of a friendly cooking competition with someone as soon as I figured out how to do it on YouTube Live. But in no way am I going to call myself a chef and it's because I'm never going to be a chef. I'm always going to be an amateur. But as an amateur, I'm quite proud of how this chicken turned out. And having said that, I guess yeah, exactly. We'll see you all. We will see you all later, soon enough. I've been making these short videos because they seem to be getting better views than the long form videos, but I am not giving up on the long form videos. Right now, I'm trying to put together another documentary, so to speak, on vintage cast iron. And this thing is turning out that it may be almost half an hour in length. Ugh, good grief. So I will get it done as soon as I can. But thank you everybody for showing up, and we will do this all over once again, well, in another week or whenever the opportunity comes up. and we will continue next week. And so I guess all I can say right now, though, is as always, have fun, folks. That's really what I enjoy about these lives more than anything else. I've said before, you folks make it fun, and thank you so much for that. But it's really because of having fun more than anything else. As I said, I do get paid by YouTube for this. I'm not trying to make this a full-time job, and that's why I'm glad just to do this to have fun, because it's a lot of fun. And tonight was a lot of fun cooking wonderful chicken here. So thank you very much for this enjoyable evening, folks. And I hope I've enjoyed. I hope I've helped you to enjoy your evening. And go to bed, everybody, because it's getting late here. And we will do this all over next week. So good night from snowy Wyoming, Jerry, 1952. Have a great week. And as I like to say from my favorite movie, 2001. See you next Wednesday.